Within 3 months of working with Purple Circle, we went from being on our last dollar and considering shutting down our info product to then having a $70,000 month in terms of total revenue. That's the most I've ever seen an online business make in such a short period of time. So obviously the results do speak for themselves. My name is Tenova, and I'm the co-founder of Copy Sharks. Copy Sharks is the world's premier training company for aspiring freelance writers who want to make a living and work remotely. I got into the market of wanting to help people make a career out of freelance writing as a result of having actually started a freelance writing agency that's been online for about 7 years now. I've found that I could make a much bigger impact by actually showing people a process instead of just employing people within my own company. That all led to me meeting Mike Spigunski, who's a very excellent partner, is a wonderful public face to the company. And really between the two of us, we have a lot of synergy in terms of teaching other people market necessary skills to help them make money online. So before Mike and I joined Purple Circle, we were facing all sorts of different challenges with this stuff. We thought that starting an info product would actually be somewhat more simple than starting a more traditional online business. And that turns out to actually not be true. We have found info products to be among one of the hardest businesses to start. So we just faced all sorts of issues, from sourcing leads to actually fulfilling on our customers to organizing our days in a way where we could actually fit all this stuff in. It was definitely a very, very bumpy ride at first. Having all these challenges is hard, man. Anytime you're in the swamp with a business, it's never a good feeling whenever you're first just trying to get something online, operational, and profitable, because at that point, it's taking away from other businesses that you already have that are profitable. You think of how you could be spending your time otherwise in your personal life. So, driving a ship that is not sinking, but definitely not going anywhere is definitely not a good feeling at all. And I think anybody who's ever tried to do something online can definitely relate to that. Mike and I first joined Purple Circle out of a personal recommendation over to Davis. So Mike knew another person who was already inside of Purple Circle, and we knew Davis personally. So we knew that he was not just somebody online who was going to try to teach us something, but then not necessarily fulfill on it. We knew that he was super legit and, totally personally vetted from the very jump. That was the most important thing to us. Not everybody on the internet is a totally honest person. So of course I had some level of skepticism at first, but being that we knew Davis through a personal connection, we felt like we were in really, really good hands. And then on top of that, we really just wanted to invest in coaching because we know the actual revenue potential of info products. We're acutely aware of that. And we really wanted to work with someone who's an expert like Davis, who could really help us unlock those stages that we were not at that point. We just wanted to give it our all. And we felt like really giving it our all requires bringing in someone who knows exactly what to do. Joining Purple Circle was sure, hey, I'm a very skeptical person of just a lot of things in general. And I definitely like to see data and evidence before starting anything. So yeah, of course, this was the first time I've ever actually invested in a coaching offer. Honestly, I've been doing business on the internet for over 7 years now, and I've actually never hired a coach before. I'm the type of person who will go read 20 books on a topic and try to teach myself instead of reaching out. So I guess I had to overcome a bit of a personal block in terms of trusting the process over to someone else. So that was definitely hesitation. But then, yeah, obviously, whenever you invest in something, you want to make sure that you're going to get a return on that. However, I think that us doing that was one of the very best decisions we've made since we started this business. The very first success that we noticed when working with Purple Circle is we actually had a framework to work inside. Prior to working with Purple Circle, Mike and I were just trying to figure everything out ourselves, which is great when it works, but is terrible whenever it doesn't. So I would say that for me personally, other than seeing a large spike in our revenue around the third month or so, really the very best thing about working with Davis and his team was having an actual framework to work within, having set, measurable, achievable, actionable items to really reach towards, and then just feeling like you're actually on sort of a path as opposed to just kind of flying around there in the wind out there by yourself, if that makes any sense. Within 3 months of working with Purple Circle, we went from being on our last dollar and considering shutting down our info product to then having a $70,000 month in terms of total revenue. That's the most I've ever seen an online business make in such a short period of time. So obviously the results do speak for themselves. So yeah, I think that working with Purple Circle has been a really wonderful thing for my own personal growth, and then also my growth as someone who just runs online businesses. Like I said, I've never ever invested in a coaching program before. I've actually never ponied up the cash, and this was the first time. And I've just found it to be a really wonderful experience. I really walk away from every call with Davis with a whole bunch of new game on not only how to run my info product, but also how to run my agency, and even how to think about other offers moving forward in the future. So, all I can say about this guy is that he is one of the most value-packed individuals I've ever met. He really does seem to enjoy helping other people, which I think is a very rare thing. And I've really just walked away with a lot of great new information as a result of working with him. And that's why we're going to continue to do so for the foreseeable future. So my favorite thing about working with Purple Circle has been just knowing what to do next. Davis does these things called the OBT, or the one big thing. Prior to working with Davis, some weeks we'd be working on an email sequence, and then we'd be working on, a new video, and then we'd be considering switching over the place where we're running ads from YouTube to Facebook, then to over some other platform, and all this different stuff. And really just having Davis to inject some structure and some order into our offer, and then also our time that we would spend on it, I have found to be one of the most beneficial things for me personally in terms of my own work output, but then also the success and effectiveness of the business as well. So I would say that was definitely probably my favorite thing about our partnership with them. The skills that I lacked prior to joining Purple Circle, I don't know. It's a little bit complicated. I'm a bit of a weird mixed bag of stuff. I've just read a bunch of books. I didn't go to college for business. I was always a 2.0 GPA student. I have no real formal training in this stuff whatsoever. So really, it's the unexpected things. It's the little quippy things that Davis will have to come up with that I'll then walk away with and then go think about. Just today, we talked about actual work hours that people are putting in during an 8-hour shift versus the actual amount of effective time that they utilize. And there's a bit of a delta between those two things. And I got to listen to Davis talk today about how he kind of approaches that age-old problem, and it gave me a whole new perspective on it. And that's coming from someone who has, hired hundreds of people over the last 2 to 3 years. So I can't say that there's been any one specific big thing, but it's rather just been an amalgamation of a lot of different little things that have all built up to really just bolstering my business skills is a lot. And I feel like we're just getting started here. I'm really looking forward to see where we land in 6 months to a year. In the prior years before joining Purple Circle, I feel like I probably just wasted a lot of time running around in circles. And, while it's great to have grit and it's great to understand things yourself and learn things yourself and to be self-determined, which are all things I think are important, there's definitely an element of if you spend a lot of time walking in the wrong direction, you're further away from where you want to go. So I would say that that's definitely been a factor in, my own career as a whole, and just actually having someone who I trust and whose results are proven. Davis is the real deal, right? He actually walks the walk. He's actually done what he is teaching you how to do. Having that there can be invaluable, because while you can always make more money and you can even make money back that you lose, you really can't get time back that you lost. And, I do shudder to think what it would have been like had I started earlier or started investing in coaching sooner. My personal happiness has definitely changed since joining Purple Circle. There is definitely nothing like feeling like you were driving a sinking ship. And I would never characterize one of my businesses as that. But, whenever you have a few bad days or a few bad weeks in a row, it can start to feel like that. And that can definitely take a very big psychological toll, even on, the most hardy of individuals, which, by the way, I'm definitely not. So having someone there who can really just kind of be a guiding hand, who's available to get in touch with, and who can actually provide good, substantive answers to questions has definitely improved my quality of life in the business realm quite a lot. Anybody who's ever been in charge of something that might not be working knows that, even if you have a really great head on your shoulders, it can be very difficult to do that. And really, I've found for myself, the sooner I can get into the green, the better things generally become. And Davis has definitely helped us get there much faster than we ever could have done by ourselves. I feel very confident in the future of our info product. And that is entirely because I feel like I have someone I can actually go to and ask questions to, who with a 99.9% certainty is going to have a very good answer that I can immediately start taking action on. If I did not have that, I would be nowhere near as confident in the future of our info product. So in terms of the future milestones that I'm hoping to achieve with Purple Circle, Davis told us whenever we first started off with him that he's very confident he could get us to $100,000 of revenue a month. Personally, I did not know if that was possible, but I thought that, hey, if we even get, a quarter of the way there, that's still a big improvement over what we're doing right now. And it looks like we're not too far off from hitting that first big milestone. So if anything, that's given me a huge boost of confidence in terms of the market viability of our product and what we can actually do with it moving forward. I'm looking forward to potentially multiplying that. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how high that number can grow. And then more importantly too, I'm beyond just, earning more money. I'm just looking forward to building a more effective company that can ultimately help more people, and then ultimately help both my partner and myself grow as people who are doing business on the internet, but then also help to inspire other people who are also seeking financial freedom and then the ability to work remotely as content writers. So I'm really just looking forward to seeing the impact that we can have with all of these minds meeting here in this company setting. And it is all thanks to Purple Circle. If you are running an online course, an info product, or a coaching agency, and you are feeling like you might not be the world's most qualified person to run it, then yes, I would 100% suggest reaching out to Davis and his team. They're an absolutely wonderful group of people. They are interested in your results and your success. And what's cool about these people is they already do very well off of their own info products themselves. They don't need your money, right? I think they're actually interested in helping you out and then seeing what you can do. And then also putting the rubber to the road in terms of their own methodologies and really just seeing how their stuff applies to yours. I think that's why they do this. I don't think they need your retainer fee every month. I think you're getting a wonderful deal whenever you sign up with them. And I think that it is one of the most value-packed programs I've ever been a part of. The final advice I would have for anybody who's considering joining Purple Circle, other than just go ahead and do it right now, would certainly be to, just kind of take stock of where you're at and where you want to be. And then honestly ask yourself if you're going to get there on your own. That's really what Mike and I did before we joined up in the program. And we really just made a very objective assessment that we are probably not the best people to get us to where we want to go. And we had to bring in some outside help. And I knew that if we were going to kind of leave everything on the field and do our absolute best with this business, that enlisting outside help was going to be absolutely necessary. And I knew in my heart of hearts that if this didn't work and we didn't try, that we would have left something on the table, that we would have not, pulled every lever and expended every single option that we had. So what was kind of a last resort for us really should be one of the first things you consider in your journey of running an information-based business.